This is Eric Burris. Thank you for joining us for Citizen Science Day. I run the Clean Water team. It's a citizen science program for the water boards. I've been in that role since 2000, and I've been the team since about 2006. We've been using science to bring communities and people together so they can understand what's happening with their watersheds, not just to understand them, but to engage in how to be a good steward, finding out how well their watersheds are functioning, how to protect them, how to restore lost beneficial uses, how to increase engagement and environmental literacy. So many things that you're going to learn through watching the programs that we are going to present. From the Cloud and the Crowd series, we're going to show 2 different episodes, the first one and the fourth one. The fourth one is geared towards earth sciences, which is appropriate for CalEPA. The crowd here, they already heard some of my favorite citizen scientists, so we're going to share a few with you. I really like Benjamin Franklin. He did fantastic science, not just flying kites out in the rain. There's an interesting story behind that. I encourage you to read up on it. One of my second favorite citizen scientists is Charles Darwin. He did a lot of work that we recognize. We salute his science. But he did his science when he was a doctor, and he was trained in other things as well, not just a paid scientist. He was an avocational scientist. And then everybody knows Einstein and the Nobel Prize work that he is recognized as, being fantastic, earth-shattering stuff he did on his spare time when he was a patent clerk in Switzerland. I'd like you to meet some of my other favorite citizen scientists from the local area, and would you please come up and introduce yourselves a little bit about your program? If you're here in the building, come on down to the second floor mezzanine. We have booths set up where you can learn about these programs, how they're utilizing citizen science to meet the needs in their communities and in their watersheds. All of them are doing watershed type work, but each program is doing something very unique and different than the others. If you come on up, everybody can come up.
Hi. I'm Joanne Heil, and I'm the Executive Director at Sierra Streams Institute up in Nevada City, California. And we've been doing citizen science for almost 20 years now. We didn't used to call it citizen science, but all along we've been training volunteers in scientific protocols, in monitoring and restoration, and now we've gotten into some very different ways of utilizing citizen scientists and training them. One of the most exciting projects we're doing now is dealing with human health and how human health might be being affected by the heavy metal contaminants from mining history. And so we're having our citizens going out and they're testing their soil around their homes, their water, their dust, taking urine samples, and we are working with an epidemiology firm to figure out the correlations between health and the heavy metal contaminants we have.
Hello, my name is Anna. I work for the South Yuba River Citizens League, and I want to thank water boards for hosting this day and to put the word out about all the good work that the citizen scientists are doing in the Yuba River watershed Forest Circle. I personally run the river monitoring program with over 50 volunteers. We monitor 35 sites throughout the watershed for water quality and different chemicals and contaminants. We also use our amazing citizen scientist volunteers for headwater meadow monitoring and restoration, lower Yuba salmon habitat restoration, and mine runoff monitoring for mercury contamination.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Maryann.
And we are representing the Kenzley Coalition, which is a new coalition about 5 different groups in the Kenzley River watershed that want to merge their data to get a good baseline of the area.
We monitor the Kenzley River, all forks, the North, Middle, and Fork and South. There are several different sites along it that we monitor, temperature, the acidity, lots of data like that. And
Hi everyone, I'm Helen Fat. I work for the Watershed Project, which is an environmental nonprofit based in the Bay Area. We do a number of different community-based volunteer type projects, from working with communities in Richmond to build bioswales and rain gardens, to trash assessments and cleanups in some of our creeks and waterways. We also have an education department doing watershed programs in elementary through high school. And then we also, what I'm here for today is more of our citizen science community work. So we worked with volunteers to build 100 reef balls, deploy them, and now we monitor them out in San Francisco Bay. And then we're working to expand a program that was started by one of our fiscally sponsored community groups, Spawners. It's a volunteer-based monitoring program doing water quality in creeks. And we're working this year to expand that to 5 different watersheds within the same county. So we do water quality, temperature type stuff, and then also creek bugs. So if you want to talk about oysters or creek bugs or other invertebrates, come on down.
Hi, my name is Marie Hamill, and I help facilitate the California Urban Streams Alliance, the STREAM team. We are located up in Butte County on Big Chico Creek watershed is our main watershed that we work on, tributary to the Sacramento River, recharge river for drinking water, and groundwater recharge for the Tuscan Aquifer. That's super important where conjunctive use is starting to happen in our area, and we're super concerned. But let's see, we're in about year 17. We meet monthly. We have about 30 or 40, up to like 60 volunteers each month that show up. They're trained, and we monitor basic ambient water quality in the creeks using swamp protocols, and the Clean Water Team serves as our technical advisory committee. We also have school programs where we link the educational needs of our local schools with ongoing resource protection efforts.
Hi, I'm Angela Kenzley. I work for an organization called Wild Coast. We're a nonprofit that conserves coastal and marine ecosystems and wildlife. We work throughout the state of California as well as in Mexico, and we just started programs in Cuba as well. We run 2 citizen science projects. One of them is a floating laboratories project. We take underserved and tribal youth out on boats into marine protected areas in order to collect data on fish identification, plankton, and water quality. And we give that information to scientists to monitor how healthy our MPAs are over time and see the effects of things like climate change and pollution on marine protected areas. The other citizen science project that we run is what's called the MPA Watch program. It's a statewide citizen science project. We have partners throughout the state who train local volunteers to go out to marine protected areas and collect data on how humans are using marine protected areas. Now, if you're not familiar with the marine protected area, it's kind of like a state park, but underwater. Now, since their inception, there's been a lot of research done that show that MPAs are effective in conserving biodiversity, but there hasn't really been much data collected on how humans are using MPAs. So that's what our program does. We send volunteers out, they walk along the beach, and they count how many people are kayaking and how many people are surfing and how many people are fishing. And we're trying to figure out how people are using MPAs, and we send our data to enforcement and management officials who then use it to decide better management and enforcement policies for the MPAs. So if you'd like to learn more, come on out here.
Wonderful group, fantastic science, and it's great to see the diversity that's being captured so we can take care of our resources together, agencies and communities, scientists and citizen scientists. For those that are watching remotely, if you have questions, you can find me and my contact information on the internet. Clean Water Team at the Water Board. So you go to the Water Board site, look for volunteer, or simply Google Swamp CWT, and you will find my contact information. Be glad to help you with any of your citizen science needs. And we can connect you with the larger citizen science community, not just water. With that, let's start the first episode.